Hello. The shadowy figure from your nightmares is on the left side of the screen, but it is a nice sunny day in my Airbnb in Tucson, Arizona. The sun is shining in Merseyside today. We won 2-0, Wes.
You know what? It says on there, I'll sleep easier tonight, mate. That was probably one of the best performances this season. And that's not saying much. I know that. But I think even though we conceded most of the possession, certainly second half, I think we can control the game well. I mean, I was getting a bit worried that we was, allowing them to come on to us second half, and the press wasn't there second half. But what a result! We needed that big time, didn't we, mate?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the tricky part with when Everton are ahead, life is easy. And it's the same for Forest. If you're down by a goal against Everton at Merseyside, how are you going to break us down? And I think Idrissa Gana Gueye deserves a whole lot of credit to me. And I think for quite a few of us watching, he was the man of the match for us.
Yeah. Head and shoulders.
Yeah.
Head and shoulders.
And hopefully I'll have some time to do some video analysis this week. But I've covered that before. Idrissa Gana Gueye just knows how to position himself, win the ball back, and has some instincts that other players who don't win the tackle, and can also control press really well. We didn't do it in the second half as much as you're saying. It was all of a sudden, okay, let them come on to us and we'll play deeper, and it seemed to work out. But there were some scary chance opportunities for Forrest, like Ashley Young, penalties. No penalties given, but you feel like you're riding that line,
Yeah, it was a fine line between the three decisions. I think if you'd been given, I think you'd have been I'd push to say they weren't penalties. Do you know what I mean? But I think what the commentators on the game were saying was that there wasn't enough contact there. But sometimes we've seen, in this day, certainly with the handball as well, as we've seen in this day and age, that there doesn't have to be that much contact, and handballs are given for ridiculous reasons these days.
Onana's one against Man City was like that. He kind of covered his face and they called it. But I think all the decisions, I know as an Everton fan, of course, you're going to be like, well, of course it was the right call because it worked for us. But if I was an independent fan, I don't think they were true penalties. And it sounds like Forrest made a statement saying that they should have 3 penalties, and putting a Luton fan in the VAR room was wrong, and now they'll strongly consider their options and calling I wasn't sure who was screaming Premier League was corrupt, but I think that's a really weak excuse that Forrest claims that they should have been penalties. But Ashley Young scares me at right back, but we can move on from it. But that he just so many of it was the handball, it was the nicking the ankle of, was it Giovanni Reina, and then I can't remember the third one, but yeah.
But Forest, it's just come on like TV now. Forest have made it. I mean, that's quick coming out with that statement about they're going to consider their options and stuff like that. You're like,
what, the independent commission's going to give you a point back for that? No, they're not. They should just keep quiet. They weren't good enough today.
They weren't good enough. Simple as, and you know what? It was like I said it in the pre-match with Robbie, that if they whip balls in all game, that'll play into our hands. It's meat and drink for our defenders, and that's exactly what they do. And you think, like, we'll defend them all day long. Like, there was no quick balls into feet. There was no runners running off defenders, off the back of defenders and stuff like that. It was all coming down the flanks.
Yeah.
And I thought, perfect for us, that.
Yeah. There was one chance in the second half that kind of scared me, and Mikolenko deserves a lot of credit, where like Tarkovsky and Branthwaite were really high line, not on the same page. And I think it may have been Gibbs White chipped it over the top, and Mikolenko basically wiped out the one-on-one chance that they did the right thing.
Yeah.
Testing us. But generally, they weren't that dangerous. Morgan Gibbs White had a great chance to score, and missed it. And then let's talk about Pickford saves for a minute. That his foot, he was scaring me immediately, like clearances, passing, and then all of a sudden he got pumped up because he had that really good save against Chris Wood, I think it was.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, his confidence and his mojo, whatever you want to call that swagger that he has, came back, and he became the Pickford that plays for England, not the Pickford that relegates Everton. You know, like he was huge for us.
I mean, he made an error like early on in the first half where he booted it straight back to Forrest, but he held his hands up for it. But then after that, he was solid. You know, usual. I say, I mean, the save was magnificent, but the tackle after that from Tarkowski was well timed and
there with him.
So. Yeah, I mean, all round good performance. It was good to see that the lads after Monday showed a bit of fight and a bit of grit.
Yeah.
So yeah, onwards and upwards. And like I said before the game, you know, if we get a point back off the appeal, which we're not going to know until before the end of the season anyway. Well, if we get a point back off that, it's effectively two games ahead of Luton.
Because right now, let me quickly check. Are we 5 points ahead of Luton? Is that the
5 points? 5 points ahead of Luton now. Yeah. Like I say, if we manage to get a point back through the appeal, that's effectively two games they've got to win, and we've got a better goal difference. Well, they're on minus 24, and we're on minus 14 or something. So we've got a 10-goal better difference.
Yeah, as long as we don't do it Chelsea again, and they continue their bad luck of form, you don't want to jinx it, but you feel like we're in the driver's seat, and we have. I'll keep it there. And the other point, all we need to do is get a point against Liverpool and control our own destiny, not giving the Premier League an opportunity to do it for us.
No, exactly. That's what we said all along, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, the fact of the matter is we are in control of our own destiny. It's you know, even get a point. You know, we'll be flying now after that result, full of confidence. You could see that the confidence once that second goal went in. You could see the confidence. Like Decore was passing better, and you know they were breaking the lines. Harrison was getting crosses into the box. So you kind of like, you know, goals make a difference to confidence. Well, absolutely. David B. Beto was knocked clean straight out, mate. Unfortunately, but it's just showing a video on there that when he got carried off, he had his thumbs up to the crowd and all that. He was on oxygen. But Ryan mentioned, who was at the game, that the Forest fans were calling cheating Scouse bastards. Now, I don't know how they can say now and come up with that statement when A, they spent more than us. You know what I mean? And B, got less points than us.
And well, it's the fact that they probably felt that they deserved a penalty, but they weren't good enough. And all of a sudden, they are more mistreated than Everton, which is a funny feeling because they're not. And they decide, and I imagine it was probably like 20 people being like angry and disgusting, but someone's knocked unconscious and they were calling them cheating, scouse, whatever's. And it's like, really, guys? But guess what? Humans can be flawed, and a lot of them were clapping him off. They showed the coverage of the Forest fans clapping him off. So there's always going to be a few bad apples, unfortunately. But
I mean, the fact of the matter is, there should be no fans like, you know, derogatory comments when there's a guy down being knocked out on the pitch and they got a head injury.
Yeah, well, clearly the people that were booing have a head injury. It's just they weren't unconscious.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, I mean, today was, you know, it was nerve-wracking before the game. It was nerve-wracking even after the first goal. Because you'd always felt that they had a goal in them, Forest.
Yeah.
And then the second one in, and it was like, still nerve-wracking, but not as much, you know what I mean? Because obviously you got that cushion, and like I say, the control of from the Everton players to control the game. The game management was there, and you think that's what we've lacked all season, is the game management.
Yeah, and you probably noticed that too. So when you're behind, when a team is behind, you expect them to make a sub early. I think they subbed right around half time. But funny enough, you were talking about this through the group text. We dominated the midfield. Idrissa Gana Gueye deserves a lot of credit, but like Danilo and was it Dominguez or Rodriguez, they seem to get outmuscled by us a lot. Yeah. And we made midfield subs before they did, which was really interesting for Dyche.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, we haven't been able to say that many times this season, if any. Probably the Newcastle game is when we probably dominated the midfield battle, and we've done that today.
Yeah,
and you just think, like, I thought Gomez, although he wasn't like spectacular, I just thought he was a calm head on the ball.
Yeah.
You know, his distribution and crosses and all that leave a lot to be desired, but his calmness on the ball, and I thought that, like, you need that in a team where obviously you got a bit of franticness going on behind, you know, in the crowd and stuff like that, and so you just need that calm head to sort of like put his foot on the ball, look up, see it pass.
What we need now is we need to Frankenstein James Garner's energy and pace and youth with Andre Gomez's brain, and we have quite the footballer in the middle next to Idrissa Gana Gueye. So Mr. Blue Sky is bringing up who scored about the two screamers, and I think the spirit of the Blues could be brought up as Gana Gueye never struck so sweetly.
Yeah. Do you know what? I said in the group chat tonight, come on, admit it. Who when he got the ball and was lined up for a shot, he was going, no, don't shoot.
Don't shoot. Yeah, because he hasn't scored like that. He got a goal against Crystal Palace, so maybe he's the lucky charm. Whenever he scores, we get 3 points. He's 2 goal. He got the winner, the deciding one against Palace away, didn't he? So
yeah.
But the better strike has to be like, actually, that's tricky.
Like McNeil's
went off the post, but Gana Gueye waited and timed his shot to go between the legs of the defender, and then he went behind the other guy. So I think Murillo blocked the shot in addition to so Danilo, he megs Danilo, and then Murillo, who the Brazilian centre back, blocked the shot from the keeper, so we couldn't see it, and last minute hits the bottom corner. I'd say Gana Gueye's was slightly better than McNeil's, but heck, we got 2 worldies today, Wes. Well, not worldies, but excellent outside the box. And we can talk about your beloved XG that they were so unlikely. They were really unlikely goals.
Yeah.
And we didn't really create that many good chances in the box, but we were able to score from outside the box. But you know what? That's how McNeil scores all of his goals. So let's get him back into that. Let's see some more of them, please.
I think for me, I think McNeil's goal was better just for the placement, like the power and the placement of it. I think Garner kind of like it was kind of a hit and hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shoot and hope.
I don't think he was,
more shoot and hope for a goal.
I don't think he actually meant it to go where it did go, but because he kind of scuffed it a bit. But I'll take it all day long.
Oh, it's a bit like Seamus Coleman's goal against Leeds last year. Yeah, I guess he definitely meant it, but those cross goals, it's a half cross, half a shot, and you're like, I meant the one that, because it went in, I meant that one.
Yeah, but like that now, like hopefully that now will like give McNeil the confidence to end the season on a high. You know what I mean? Because he scored last season, didn't he? And the end of the season, scored 2 against. Who was it? He scored 2 against who?
I think Brighton when we played away the Amex.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he has to be dog shit all season and then sort of like come the end of the season start performing.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. It is funny because I was thinking, okay, if you were told you had 40 points in a season and you'd be safe, would you prefer them at the very beginning of the season, at the very end of the season, or a mix throughout? Basically, like
I'll take them all throughout.
yeah,
Like,
right. So
like,
you want occasionally goals being scored instead of streakiness, but that's not how football works. It's
no.
always streaky. Confidence.
I messaged me mate who's working. He said to me, what's the score? I said it's 2-0 to Everton, and he went because he's a red, and he said,
Yeah.
"Oh, you better stop that." I said, "Don't worry, we'll be we'll shit ourselves again come Wednesday." But I said, we're prolific."
Yeah. So, I brought up Ryan's comment, who might be in the back here, but we didn't create that many chances, but we controlled the match at the same time. And it's funny to say control the match, but we let them have the ball in unopportune areas. And like, okay, we're up 1-0, come at us, and they couldn't. But I think we'll be, and I might do some tactics on this if I can get that software set up again. Where did you notice how often Everton played a really high line, and they also didn't press high either. So we played really compact in the middle and gave space over the top. They weren't fast enough to exploit us, but Tarkovsky's not fast enough to take on the best players. Ashley Old isn't either. So unless you had Godfrey in that position for recovery runs, you're playing a really risky game doing that. But it worked out today.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few comments. There's a few comments there. There's people are giving Ashley Old quite a bit of grief, and I thought he done all right. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like.
Yeah.
Obviously, take out the suspect penalty decisions, but I thought he done all right. I think he done his job all right. I don't think he was like that much under pressure throughout the game.
Yeah,
and I was up against Hudson-Odoi, who's he's no slouch.
Yeah, exactly.
Afternoon, Mr. Toffees.
Yeah, he didn't stick out. I mean, he didn't stick out in a bad way, except Ashley. Yeah, something about Ashley Young in the penalty box just makes me incredibly uncomfortable. But and that's the thing with a match like this. When we're saying Ashley Young is terrible at right back, I think he's the weakest of the right back options, except at least defensively. I think going forward, he's better than Ben Godfrey at right back. But what I worry about with Ashley Young, and we talk about, we won, so it doesn't really impact us. But the game of fine margins, all we need is just a guy like Gay or McNeil to not have an excellent strike from outside the box. And one of those penalty decisions to not go our way, and we're talking a very different match. So it's a game of margins, and it's a results-driven business, and we got the points. But that's the stuff that I get on a different day. Who knows?
Yeah, was it Kazuri here? I don't know whether Kazuri's new. I haven't seen the name before. Welcome if you're new, mate. Have you seen him before? Yeah, he's got a point there with the free kicks and whatnot. Maybe he should have took them because the free kicks were awful today. Like they were really awful. Gomez won it. The Robster there, cracking win. We've given out negative vibes recently. Let's enjoy the mammoth 3 points. But let's just remember that it is only 3 points, right? CJ Mid, Young's been the worst rated player on the pitch in 90% of the games he's played. Disagree that. I'm not saying that he hasn't. Or I'm saying that he wasn't terrible today.
A 6 out of 10 on the rating scale rather than a 2 or a 3 type of deal. So what I was actually going to bring up was real quick. I'll see if I can get this to load. So what I thought was kind of interesting, we're talking Dwight McNeil and how we played today. I thought it was really interesting, the dynamic nature of the left side, but central midfield in particular. Decore went further back and played more as a pivot or a number 6 quite a lot. McNeil came into the middle, which allowed Gomez to meander to the left a lot. And then it freed up space for Mikalenko. Last week when Onana was playing, I was saying Onana cock-blocked or basically blocked the movement on that left side. So they found a way to manufacture a lot of space today on that side. And Decore was a lot more involved in actually maybe that's the new play for him, that he isn't just playing as a number 10. He kind of gets more involved with the play and has more touches playing deep, and then can migrate forward on occasion, So
Yeah.
So the other one was on the right side. So Garner Gay was everywhere. Funny enough, he was actually, the midfield were not just stagnant. We had Gay dropping all over the place, but generally on the right side.
Yeah.
DCL wasn't very much involved in the game, didn't get a lot of distribution. Harrison was more advanced than normal, but again, couldn't release the ball. And he had coverage with Ashley Young. So
yeah. Mr. Blue Sky saying Branthwaite's man of the match for him. I think personally, I give it to Garner. But Branthwaite was tremendous again today.
Yeah.
But it's kind of what you'd expect from Branthwaite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that he shouldn't get man of the match, because of what you'd expect. But I think Garner Gay just like sort of snuffed out everything that came there, and obviously got a goal as well. So for me, he was man of the match for me.
Yeah. And there's going to be a mixture on it, but yeah, Branthwaite was certainly, his confidence came back after a very poor match against Chelsea. But Branthwaite was good. But when you talk about impact on the match, the man of the match that truly matters to me was Idrissa Gana Gueye. Scored that goal. He helped make it manageable in the midfield, winning the ball back a lot. And if you're the one scoring the goal and no one can score a goal, that is even more impactful than keeping a clean sheet for our team. But Branthwaite was really good. Another kind of casual 8 out of 10 for him. But generally defensively, we were quite comfortable and competent today. We were a little bit shaky on the ball as always, giving the ball away or not knowing how to handle it. But you don't expect that from Gana Gueye, so you can't blame him. That's not his game anyway.
No, but here's one. CJ mid there. Branthwaite just nicks the ball out from your feet. You can't see it being able to keep him this summer. Now, dependent on what the situation is with obviously the PSR and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If we have to sell either Onana or Branthwaite to stay within the rules, it's got to be Onana, hasn't it? Surely.
Yeah, it has to be. The problem is because Branthwaite was like from our own, we developed him from the ground up. The value we get for selling him at this point,
we bought him from Carlisle, but
right.
I don't know whether he wouldn't be pure profit because Carlisle, I think they had a 20% sell-on fee.
Oh, okay. And I forgot that detail on it. But let's say you sold Onana in the summer for 70 million or Branthwaite for 70 million. But we also bought James Garner. Sorry, we bought Onana for, was it 25? So we don't get that much back off him relative to us by what we got for getting him from Carlisle with a 20% cut on a sell-on fee. I think Branthwaite's worth more, but I want to keep Branthwaite, hence why Branthwaite's worth more.
Yeah, because do you know what? His value is only going to go up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
Because I think regardless of the fact that he didn't play in any of the recent England friendlies, he's going to be a future England player for a long time to come. Because, not being funny, the defenders that they've got there, take out John Stones out of the equation, he's probably the best centre half in the country, and that's not me just with my blue tinted glasses on either. At this present moment in time, he's probably the second behind John Stones. He's probably the second best centre half in the country.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I forget who there was discussion about someone from Crystal Palace, a centre back playing. I forgot who that was, but other than that, it's Harry Maguire, right? And he's clearly about done. Just depends on the manager. So I really see that for England being Branthwaite and Stones in like maybe as early as the Euros.
Yeah, the thing is it's one of those is Harry Maguire hasn't never really let England down when he's played for England, but the big Buzz Lightyear is prone to mistakes. Do you know what I mean? And every player is. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't fill you with confidence.
Yeah, there's a Michael Keane in that guy.
There's definitely a Michael Keane in that guy, and it's scary to think that Michael Keane's got England caps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Well,
Jim,
that was back in the day.
Jim Watson's saying he's hearing him out to sell to avoid another 10 points, but that's not going to happen. They're not going to get 10 points. Because otherwise you might as well just send into administration. So
let's
I don't know where you made that. That's tough information.
So I know the earlier lines, and maybe it's related. I guess the question: would you rather sell Branthwaite or take another 10-point deduction? Honestly, I think I don't like points deductions clearly, but if you would Branthwaite give you 10 points more than Michael Keane in the same position over a year? Yes, I think so. So if that's your option, you'd say take 10 points, but I don't want any more points deductions, Wes.
No, but like I say, that's not going to happen. We're not going to get 10 points. It's as simple as that. They tried to give us 10 points. We appealed it. We got 6. So it doesn't make sense to give a team more points for a breach of PSR than what you would do if you was insolvent.
Yeah. And hopefully they are more and more normalizing the points deductions. We'll see. There's no guarantee with the Premier League, but yeah, I guess if selling Branthwaite gets us out of administration, that's a different conversation than for profit and sustainability, balancing the books.
Yeah,
because
but we're not going to go into administration.
Take it. Yeah,
we're not going to go. We're not going to go into administration. Like I said, I don't know whether you were watching before, and I read something that along the lines of 777 had put a statement out saying that they got the funding for the stadium, got the funding to fund the club for the rest of the season. Yeah. And if they had to pay back MSP through their own money, they've got that there. Or they could borrow it and pay MSP off that way. But it all sounds positive. Whether that's all true, I don't know. But that's the thing that they came out with.
Yeah, until it's a done deal, it isn't a done deal but it's feeling closer, but it's still an undecided variable. But yeah, as Mark's kind of saying, 3 points makes uncertainty feel a lot better. So,
yeah. Do you know what though? It's like Mark saying there, if he's a Forest fan, he'd be fuming about decisions that have gone against Forest. But let's not forget, Mark, we've had decisions that have gone against us this season, and we've complained and this, that, and the other, and it doesn't get you anywhere. It is what it is. Just to look at the draw, So I don't feel sorry for them. I really don't. You get what you're given. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Well, if Forest got 2 penalties today, I would think that's too much. If they got 1, it may be, but they weren't clear and obvious errors. I think if I was, those are the kind of penalties that I don't want to be seen given to anyone. But if you get it and you in your favor, you'd take it. Of course you will. You'll take anything. But those are the kind of penalties that I don't think should be given. Ashley Young was pulling his arm in. The one with Rayner maybe was a penalty, or a little bit of contact, but it was very weak. And we talked about this actually at Forest last year. When a player puts your foot in front of another player and then you fall over, is that really a penalty or not? Or did you manufacture the foul? That was that third one. So I don't want to see that as a foul either.
When all said and done, right, it's not like they've gone down on the back of this result. They've still got 4 games. Okay, they've got City next, but they've got Sheffield United and Burnley last game of the season to still drag themselves out of it. Do you know what I mean? So it's these decisions that they didn't get today is not going to decide their season. They've got 4 games left to get out of it.
And if you had Luton actually not just crap in the bed at their own home in Kenilworth Road yesterday. This may have a different feeling to it, but Luton are really close to just like committing, like, just throwing in the towel the way they're playing. Everyone's injured. Losing 4-0 at home to Brentford, they didn't even have Ivan Toney because they wanted to rest him. What was it?
5-1.
Was it 5-1 at the end? Oh, okay, it was 4. Yeah. They won by 4. So Thomas Frank before the match said, if this was a cup final, I'd play Ivan Toney, but it's not a cup final. It's only Luton, basically. It's not worth the risk. And you go, imagine hearing that from the opposition. We're going to rest our team. We're just above the relegation zone, but I think we can take it on. They did it against Sheffield, and they proved it, and Brentford did it again. But how embarrassing is that for Luton that their main man wasn't on the pitch and they got thumped like that? So you can see they were really low on confidence. Why I'm saying all this? Because Nottingham Forrest and us, all we need to be doing is getting a few more points here, and I think Luton is sealing their own fate right now. Don't want to guarantee it. We want to control the points and us do it, not rely on them. Of course not. But there's a confidence because of yesterday that this just feels a lot sweeter.
Yeah, and they say I said it in the pre-match with Robbie is ideally at this stage of the season you don't really want to be playing the teams that are around you because it's too much. It's a lot of pressure, and mid-table teams is the ones that you want to be, the ones that are on the beach and got the flip-flops on and got the sangria going and this, that, and the other. And it's like, they're the teams you want to be playing. And when you're playing teams in and around you, it brings in nervousness because, one loss and you're behind the team.
Yeah. No, and funny enough, almost all the teams located on the southern beach are already on the beach, right? The Brightons, the Bournemouth.
Even the Brentford now. Brentford probably know they're safe now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that they might come to Goodison on Saturday and sort of like they might not even play Ivan Toney. And to be perfectly honest, I'd probably rather see Ivan Toney playing instead of that Johan Wissa.
His first goal was excellent, yeah. And Mbeumo.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'd rather see Ivan Toney instead of either one of them because he hasn't been great since he's come back from his ban.
Except the foam incident, he hasn't done much at all.
The which?
The foam incident. So where he moved the foam. So there's a free kick.
Oh, yeah.
And it was against Forrest. So if there's any Forrest fans on here, they'll probably like mark what we're like. I was watching that live and going, what a terrible wall that was. And he moved the foam and then cheated on the line and kicked it around so moved the ball basically.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't, even though they absolutely tonked Luton last week, I don't think on the back of that performance, I don't think we should be fearing them.
Yeah. Don't fear them, but don't be entitled to think it's a pushover. We've lost to them twice in a year already. So why would we think that? For Beto, I'm not sure I've seen anything yet. Have you?
No news unless Sean Dice was on just now, and obviously I've got the TV on mute, so he's probably being assessed. He's probably being taken to hospital, hasn't he? I hope he's all right. I hope that's not him out for the rest of the season because we could do with him. We could do with him on the pitch just so he gets some minutes. Because, like I say, I keep saying it to people. Like people say he's a terrible footballer and all this, that, and the other, but I see a footballer in him. I see a decent player in him. You know what I mean? And I think like we'll probably see the better of him next season. Gets a pre-season under his belt, and he gets more used to. But people are saying there about Dice, and they don't want to see Dice there next season. Personally, I don't want to see Dice there next season. I don't think, even if when we stay up, I don't think that just by keeping us up, he deserves another contract. I think. Yeah. The football that he plays is turgid. It's horrendous to watch. They actually played not too bad today. They played some passes, but that I think a lot of that was Gomez. Gomez was just like I say, he's just that calming influence on the ball.
So for the better one, for those that didn't watch it live, It was a head injury with Morgan Gibbs White, and he went down immediately unconscious. And they for a moment they had the cameras on it. I think McNeil and James Garner were both there and walked away, kind of head in hands, kind of like really uncomfortable to even be there. So, and the medical staff went right to it. Morgan Gibbs White eventually recovered, but it was a heavy hit, and it looked like Gomez was basically out cold. Sorry, Gomez Beto, was out cold. He seemed to be conscious by the end, gave a thumbs up on the stretcher, and was given an oxygen tank. And I imagine we'll hear throughout the week, but there's no point saying for anyone to say, yeah, he's definitely coming back on Wednesday. They've got a lot of checks they want to do, and they're probably not going to say anything. But I can't imagine him being ready and back for Wednesday as long as DCL's fit. I wouldn't risk it for him.
This is the thing that the Sophie man says, that a decent manager had improved Beto. Like Carlo Ancelotti improved Calvert-Lewin massively, and obviously we're not getting Carlo Ancelotti, but it goes to show if you've got a good manager that is more attack minded, that and whether like Mr. Blue Skies there saying about having Moisey back, I'm not sure whether he's attack minded enough to sort of get the best out of Beto, but he's definitely an upgrade on Sean Dyche.
Yeah. You know what would probably improve Beto? He actually flies out to California and takes a 2-week acting class, because he when he makes contact with someone fouls him, his dives look so weird that he's never going to win a foul in his life. He stands up and then he dives. So there's part of it like knowing how to time his runs in the box, and little pieces of how do you get past the man and how do you take on contact, I think is a big part of where he needs to develop.
Yeah, but that all comes with experience of playing in the league. You don't get many foreign players coming from abroad that sort of hit the ground running straight away. They all take time to bed in. And like I say, if we get a manager that that has that more forward thinking prowess, I think like Beto and also a playmaker as well that can thread balls through to him, because like I said, I've seen his goals. And they can. Most of his goals come from balls being threaded through and then him running onto the ball and skinning defenders and slotting it into the bottom corner. And he did get his fair share of headers, but that comes when you've got a playmaker. I mean, and Gomez. We had Gomez today, but there wasn't many. He wasn't on the pitch when Gomez was on the pitch anyway, was he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I forgot exactly. I think Gomez swapped for James Garner right when at the same time that DCL swapped for Beto. There was actually another scary incident that we may quickly go over. So Nico Williams was being chased by Dwight McNeil, and because the players are right on the fans are right on the touchline there at Goodison, he actually fell over the stands and fell backwards, and I was worried he hit his head and fell over the stands, but I think he was okay. But that was another scary moment.
Yeah, I think we've got a Forest fan here. I think Anthony Stafford might be a Forest fan. Premier shit, hate / love you, and I straighten out the point deduction by not giving anything against you. Ashley Young is horrible, awful type. Atwell needs to be kick his guide dog. Well, I wouldn't say getting initial 10 points from the Premier League is the fact that they love us. And it's definitely not straightening out the point deduction. Anthony Stafford, let's not throw stones. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You got spent more money than us and got a less point deduction.
Yeah.
And you're appealing it. So let's not go down that road.
Just keep it. I would even keep it broader than that. I don't think that the Forest points deduction, like more so than us, but points deductions for either of us wasn't really fair. I think we should be uniting against the Premier League, not going against each other just because Everton got the points today. I think it's a bigger problem than that.
100%.
And I would love to see
100%.
us stay in the league, but if it becomes us fighting each other, brick houses, glass windows, this kind of thing, like I don't see the point on it.
But let's get one thing straight on the points deductions, right? Is that Forest was told they had a clear sporting advantage because of the amount of players that they bought, right? Everton didn't in the initial 10-point deduction, but then they changed their minds and decided that we did. So now what they've decided is any kind of overspend on PSR is going to be classed as a sporting advantage when it's clearly not.
There are many levels of sporting advantage then, but they're all categorized in the different categories, but they're only treated as one category of if you overspent it as a sporting advantage. Not we needed to get rid of Brennan Johnson, but we held on. Everton did the opposite. So we had less of a sporting advantage than they did for the same action for selling Richarlison.
Yeah,
but
it was because if we either kept hold of Richarlison and sold him for 80 million or sold him for 80 million the season before, we wouldn't have had a point deduction. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But Forest decided that they wanted to keep hold of him so they could maximize the profits. And fair enough, that's they're entitled to do that. But at the same point, they were breaking the rules.
Yeah. And we ended up breaking rules, and we can't. I'm not the competency of the Everton board and the finance side is clearly in question, right? We know this, but it's just not. Yeah, if we try to be more we play by the rules and it backfires. They intentionally didn't because they didn't like the rules. It's hard to say we're on the same playing field. But I will quickly interject because we've got over 400 listeners right now. So thank you for everyone watching between the platforms of Facebook.
Great turnout.
Yeah, it's excellent. They like to see us not just talk wham about losing 6-0. They like to hear us when we win too. Yeah. So if you're on Twitter or X or Facebook, I would also encourage you guys to like us and subscribe on YouTube, where you'll be able to see all our scheduled content come through as a subscriber. If you like what we're doing and want to help fund the channel from like the video analysis tool that you heard me talk about, that's made possible through donations, which you can do at that link below through the Follow Everton on the YouTube page through the membership link. And beyond that, we also have a ticket giveaway for Liverpool, right?
Yeah. So anybody that wants to go to the match, the derby on Wednesday, you got to. What are we on there? 4:30. So you got about 2.5 hours to either subscribe to our YouTube channel or go to Twitter if you're already subscribed and requote the link that Ryan's put up on Twitter, and you'll enter the draw. It's a free ticket, and go and watch the Blues absolutely tongue the red shite.
Exactly. I would so volunteer, but unfortunately I can't get to Liverpool fast enough.
Mate, you better start walking.
I'm not in Jamaica either. I'm in a wonderful weather, sunny Tucson today.
Tucson,
with my family visiting.
So it's. Why did you say it's Tucson? It's got a C in it.
So
Tucson.
So that was actually I believe the original pronunciation was like Tucson. It was like a Spanish or Mexican expression, and they, Americanified it.
Americanified it.
So is Mr. Toffee's in Tucson? If that's the case, that's amazing. We should hang out. I'm not sure.
Maybe go around for a beer.
Yeah, Mr. Toffees, if you've got Twitter or X, you might be able to find me as Aussie Chris on there and just reach out. That'd be awesome to catch up.
Nice one, Liam. Now get over to YouTube, to Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and requote the link on thing, and you'll be entered into the draw, mate. The draws at 7 7 bells tonight. So one of you lucky followers will get to go to the derby free of charge. Right, let's go into player ratings.
Yep.
You know, so we're going for obviously Pickford. What would you give him out of 10?
Those saves were excellent. He wasn't involved the whole match, but he did what he needed to do. Kept a clean sheet. Probably an 8, 7, 8.
I'll go with that. I'll go with the 7.5.
You were giving me crap for hedging my bets this morning on I want 3 points, but I'll take a draw. And now you're taking the half points.
I'll definitely, yeah, but we're allowed on player ratings.
All right, so 7.5 for Pickford, I think is fair. So Mikalenko, what do you think?
Mikalenko, I didn't. Doesn't offer much going forward, but he went like he made run back and made one great challenge in the first half that stopped. I think it was Hudson Odoi from getting in. So I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah. So I'm similar. I think he did exactly what he needed to do without being outstanding, but involved. He was comfortable all day and had that one save. I'm going a 7, but again, similar kind of number here. Now Branthwaite, as you kind of migrate across, I think he's probably for me an 8, 8.5 type score. Really solid. The entire match looked really comfortable today. Almost no mistakes I can think of.
Yeah, I'll go for an 8.5 as well. Like you say, for me, Garner just pips him by half a point with a 9, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So Tarky or James Tarkowski.
A great challenge for the Pickford save. I'd put him down for a 7.5 as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I think more than a 7, less than 8. 7.5 is good. He was solid, a good leader today, and he did win his headers on set pieces. So I think that's exactly where you'd want him. Now Ashley Young will probably split the audience here a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Craigo was going for a 3, which I think is a bit harsh. But you're entitled to that opinion. Personally, for me, I'd go for a 6. I don't think that he was horrendous today. I think he threw some pieces, like Peter Duggan said before. I think he put some great crosses into the box. I think his distribution was better than what Harrison's was, which is saying something coming from your right back rather than from your right winger. So I go for a 6.
Yeah, 6 to me is like the minimum expectation for a Premier League player is a 6. I know, depending on what country you're in, a passing grade at school was different, but I think 6 out of 10 is my pass. And Ashley Young was right on that line. If a penalty was given for any of those 3, my rating would have dived to a 4 or a 5.
Yeah, but the thing is, what you've got to notice here is that nobody, like the rest of the team, aren't getting fantastic scores. So that's kind of an indicator of how well a lot of the Evertonians out there think that the team played overall.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So so who are we on next?
Let's go back to the left wing. So we have Dwight McNeil.
Yeah, got his goal. Don't think he was like particularly threatening all through the game, but I'd still give him a 6.5 because he got a goal.
Yeah, I would say 7 because he got the goal, but again, like he did. If without the goal, he gets a 6 for me, but he did get the goal. So Gomez today, Andre Gomez. What do you think?
Like I say, calm head on the ball. Distribution wasn't brilliant. Free kicks weren't brilliant. Corners weren't brilliant. So I'd go for another 6.5.
Yeah. So I agree with what you're saying. I think his crosses were really poor today. He couldn't beat the first man, but so his skill on the ball and knowledge, like how he plays the game, his calmness was really good. His distribution wasn't good enough, but we need him in the squad. and he gets a 6 today for me.
Yeah.
No. So now it's Adrissa Ghana Gay.
It's a 9 for me.
Yeah. Same for me. I think his goal, how he handled the midfield, really stood out. But it's between him and Branthwaite, arguably, but scoring the goal, I think, was the deciding factor for me.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think that like this win is obviously going to give us confidence, and we've got what we got now: two wins and a draw in 3 games. Is it?
In 4 games because we forgot.
4 games.
You forgot Chelsea.
Oh yeah, slipped me mind. I don't know how I did that.
Yeah, I was live for 2 hours watching that. I can't forget Chelsea. It's live under my brain.
Two wins and a draw in 4 games is not a bad return for us. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So this will give them confidence. If we can get something out of our neighbours across the park on Wednesday, then going into that Brentford game, we'll be full of confidence.
Yeah. So let's go. Next player is the right winger of Jack Harrison.
Yeah, I think he's struggled like big time. Mm-hmm. Like started off when he come in from when he was injured to start the season. I think he come in and he was like a breath of fresh air, but like he's just massively fallen off a cliff. Yeah. Like he just constantly runs into trouble and gets dispossessed, and he's quite weak on the ball. And but then who's the other option that we can put in there instead of him? You know what I mean? That's any better.
Young is the other one, or Arnott Danjuma is back on the bench now, so he's available.
Yeah, would you play Danjuma on the right?
Yeah, if you had Coleman behind him.
Yeah,
because Coleman knows how to position himself. But yeah, okay. But Harrison for me, 4.5, 5.
Yeah, I think I'd go for the 5. He wasn't like horrendously bad. But yeah,
but he was below par for me, and par is my 6. Okay, so Abdoulaye Doucouré is next.
I thought he started off the game pretty poorly. I think once the second goal went in, I think he grew into the game more.
Came in, but I think you got to give Dyche credit for getting him more involved in the play by bringing him into the number 6. I think his confidence is getting better with more touches on the ball. The risk, though, is if he gives the ball away, because we know he can't pass to save himself, is it risky to put him in that spot? But he was better. I would say I'd give him a 6.
Yeah, and I think first half, I think you alluded to it in the first half that he dropped Doucouré back more and pushed Gomez on further up the pitch.
Which was relating to this. Yeah,
I think that give us a more control over the midfield, and like I say that it was really easy for Everton to play between the lines in the first half because there was huge gaps in the midfield between the defense and the midfield, and Calvert-Lewin was slipping in there, and Gomez was slipping in there, and there was always a pass on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then obviously, second half we allowed them to come on to us, and that was when they got a bit squeaky bum time for me. Like,
So we were talking to Corey. Yeah, he was. I think the heat maps were pretty cool today because of the midfield was really dynamic and we moved around instead of having been stagnant. I think Onana not playing was a really interesting note here, but I think Onana not playing helped Everton's structure a bit today. And Doucouré wasn't excellent, but he wasn't bad either. But 6 out of 10 for me is my best rating I've given him for months, I'd say. So 6 out of 10 for me there. What did you think about DCL?
Once again, like he just seemed to lack like any sort of passion and desire to sort of like win balls off players, and he got his goal against Burnley by closing down the goalkeeper, but that didn't seem to be there today again.
Yeah. And I'm curious because, and I was just watching the game rather than trying to do full analysis live, but because we didn't press, DCL wasn't as effective because he's a really clever presser of the ball. So we're really good at pressing when he's the number 9, but we didn't do that today. And
we did in the first half for a bit, but then second half we allowed Forrest to come on to us, and like I say, that to me it was a risky strategy. We did it was kind of a semi press in the first half. You know what I mean? It weren't a full on press.
Okay, press when it seemed right. So for me, I think DCL somewhere between a 4 and a 5. I would call him anonymous Calvert-Lewin today. Generally speaking,
I'd go for a 5.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, so that's the starting lineup. We had James Garner come in to the midfield. What did you think of how his impact?
Not great.
Not much.
To be honest, no, not great. I don't think. I'll be honest with you, like he's another one that fell off a cliff, like, and I just don't know what he brings to the team. I really don't. I don't see what he brings to the team. Like he's not forward thinking anymore, and like there was a chat where he put a cross in and overhit it. Like that was a fair sort of like input into the game.
Yeah, and what's funny is it's almost like his role or his expectations are so confusing. Maybe you legit come up with a way to make him a right back next season and kind of clearly outline what he needs to do. Because if he's running forward with the ball, I think he does fine. If the ball's kind of coming from behind him and he has to think too critically, he struggles. But yeah, that's why I said Gomez's brain on James Garner's body, and you have a different James Garner. But I think he was maybe a 5.
Garner when he come on,
4 or 5. It was underwhelming.
Yeah, I don't think I can't give a winning team players less than a 5. I really can't. You know what I mean? So I'll give James Garner a 5 because nobody was absolutely dreadful today where they deserve less than a 5.
Anonymous makes you subpar, but not by a lot, just a little bogey.
Yeah.
So then we have Beto.
Beto, I think, come on. He put himself about a bit. Obviously, he was unfortunate with the injury, but had a chance where he was kind of like running down the side of the defender, and the defender got in there. But I'd give Beto a 6.
Yep, I think that's fair. And relatively late on into stoppage time, injury time. I didn't get to watch too much of it. I was trying to get the stream set up, but we had Yusuf Chimiti come on for the injured Gomez Beto.
Yeah, I liked him when he come on. I really did. Like he's an absolute unit, that lad. He's huge. You know what I mean? I'd personally give Chimiti like a 7.5 when he come on because he really got stuck in. He's prepared to put his foot in there and he even got a yellow bloody card. He was only on the pitch 2 minutes.
Yeah, we had a lot of strange yellow cards. There was the Jared Branthwaite complaining about the contact that that Ryan Yates did from an elbow. You had Jack Harrison kick the ball away, and Yusuf Chimiti for time wasting at the end. A lot of little yellows, but I didn't watch him close enough. But Peter, who often does the ratings here, has some extreme scores, but usually they're extreme on the low end. So interesting that he thought quite highly of Chimiti's impact over such a short period there.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's up for the scrap anyway. You know what I mean? But then are we basing that on the performance of Calvert-Lewin, where some days some games he'll get himself up for the scrap, and then other games like you say today, like he was kind of anonymous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and unfortunately, probably have to watch it back. But Schmidt, he's got a lot of passion, but then it's like, how do you get that into scoring goals? And could he start? Let's say Everton are mathematically safe. Imagine that, right? With like 2 matches to go, you rest DCL and you start Schmidt against Sheffield or something. That would be an interesting time to give him a more of a run out.
Yeah, obviously, like DCL picked up. Well, it looked like he had some kind of injury he got treatment for on the pitch. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's available for Wednesday. And Beto is definitely not going to be available for Wednesday.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's true too.
that only option is going to be possibly Chimity.
Yeah,
He
either
could
that
be. He
and
could be
Zuma
an
as
Ellis
the
Sims.
striker, or Keane up front.
Yeah, yeah. He could. He could be. He could be an Ellis Sims, couldn't he? Chimity thrown into the deep end against Liverpool in the derby.
Yeah, and wasn't that like Everton was such a well-run machine that the starting striker for the derbies shirt wasn't available on the Everton website last year. You're like, well done, Everton. I can show you nil status optimum. Nothing is more optimum that your starting striker doesn't have a name available on the website to buy. But avoid that. I think Schmidt would be an option. DCL had like a bit of a sore hamstring, I believe, and it was touch and go to start the match. So maybe it's just managing that already known injury.
Craigo, whereabouts are you, mate? Craigo's coming to Liverpool next year.
You better type us the answer because we might not hear his audio. Yeah, so I think that's about it for right now. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up? I know we talked about the penalties, the injury with some points deduction. We got 2 points. Actually, what do we say? Maybe my last question. What do you think of Dyche today? You could tell he tried to change things.
What did he actually change though, apart from dropping Decore back and pushing your playmaker on?
He started Gomez instead of
Yeah,
Onana.
but he should have started. He probably should have started Gomez against Chelsea.
Oh, right. But I'm saying at least he wasn't stubborn in his tactics enough to not change it, which is a very low standard to set for your manager. But I feel like we're giving him a pass.
Yeah, but the starting point's
so
already low.
That, like, being a manager with a pulse is now being, oh my God, you did a decision at 60 minutes. Great manager. You know, maybe I'm just so. Yeah,
but that's just it. The benchmark. The benchmark's already low. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what?
Suited the tracky.
And you know why? The tracksuit said that he had more managerial mobility today to make decisions.
I think he was getting the warm Goodison air breezing between his gonads.
You know what actually probably happened? Onana went on the bench because he accidentally put Sean Dyche's suit in the washing machine instead of taking it to the dry cleaners.
I don't even think that's probably. I don't think we could afford to get his suit dry cleaned. That's how skint we are.
Yeah, we pay all the groundskeepers to have the lint rollers to try and.
Yeah. Well, do you know, like, I don't like Peter Duggan's like highlighted it there is that it was two pieces of brilliance.
Yeah.
That won us the game rather than managerial tactics. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, you know, pushing Decore back and pushing Gomez on. Maybe you can say that's tactics, but then Forrest were kind of playing into our hands and letting us play between the lines, and so maybe that was maybe that was a blatantly obvious decision to make, was to do that because of the space in between the midfield and the defense, to push Gomez on, and have Decore more as of a CDM.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this set up correctly. There we go. So on the XG side, we weren't excellent. So the left side is Everton, and it goes back to the comment that was brought up by Neil that we were under our XG for the season. Yeah, we did not actually have great chances today, but we had two worldies, and the likelihood of them scoring was quite low. But we got 2 goals. But outside of that, we didn't dominate the game, and that's what the stats were showing here. We let them have the ball. We had more of the ball than we're used to having as well.
Yeah, and it's like the fact of the matter is we scored 2 goals from not having many clear-cut chances. I mean, I don't remember their goalkeeper having a save to make, really.
Yeah, I'm trying. There was he did make a save, and I thought for a moment it was a penalty against for Branthwaite in the second half.
Oh yeah,
where he comes out and does that clearance and wipes him out. But yeah, we didn't. Okay, a bit like when Abdoulaye Doucouré scored against Bournemouth at the final match of last year. If it wasn't for that one strike, did you say we were good? No, not really. He's back.
What happened? I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, but when we played Bournemouth last year, we basically said, like, we got lucky. We had a worldie, but we did not create enough chances to score. Very much like today. Very lucky for Dyche that his players actually got the goals he did today.
Yeah. We didn't really create anything clear cut. The fact is we scored 2 goals from outside the box, and they both nestled in each side of the goal where the keeper couldn't get them. It was great placement if you want to put it that way. Definitely for me, for Dwight McNeil's was great placements. Whether Garner Gay, intentionally meant to put it there is a different story. I'm kind of like sort of a bit dubious
about
that.
Credit because it went in.
Yeah, it deserves credit because it went in. But apart from that, like, apart from DCL's, header at the keeper, stays the keeper, was weak header, stays to the keeper. Yeah. It's like, he didn't really have any shots, did he?
No, and unfortunately, I think maybe that was McNeil, but that cross was overhit enough that he had to go back away from the goal to make contact with it. So you're never going to have enough power to score.
But there was also a point in the second half where Tarkowski was out of position and was kind of like stretching for the header, and he headed it straight back into the path of was it Hudson-Odoi? Or was that the Gibbs White one? That was the Gibbs White one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Oh. Yeah, that was the Gibbs White one where he was pushed, a little bit too far up the field. This time he managed to get something on it, but nodded it straight back into the path of Gibbs White.
Yeah, and then he knocks it just wide. Yeah. So if we circle back for Dyche, then it wasn't anything different for the most part about how Everton played. We had 2 good strikes, but it wasn't as if Dyche came up with anything really truly creative other than, yes, Gomez should have started a while ago and he finally did, and Onana needed to be dropped. And bringing in Doucouré a little bit deeper may have helped, but we still, as a team, as a squad, were not creating enough chances against even if we dominated the midfield today, we couldn't do anything with it. So tactically, we weren't strong.
But we all kind of know that Gomez hasn't got a 90 minutes in him, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, do you start him on Wednesday and see if he can create something, or do you think that he'll revert back to Onana and Garner Gay? That is, he'll go defensive and play for the point.
I'll say this. If the assumption is that Andre Gomez doesn't have the legs to play a full match, he probably doesn't have the legs to play 3 matches in a week either.
No,
So
definitely not.
I would save him, even if knowing that's the problem. How dare me, as an Everton fan, say we should rest players for the Merseyside derby? That just it doesn't sit right. But we know that if there are points that truly matter, we need to get points against Brentford this weekend.
Yeah.
So
Effectively, if we beat Brentford, we're safe. That's it, isn't it?
yeah, but you could say, well, if we beat Liverpool, we're safe.
Yeah, but it's kind of with the derby, it's kind of a free hit. And I said this to the Chelsea game. Chelsea game was a free hit. Obviously, we know what happened there. The Liverpool game's a free hit. So must win games are the games like today and Brentford and possibly Luton away. Luton away is going to be crucial. Sheffield United seem like they've wrapped their hand in altogether. To get an absolute tonkin off Burnley, at home as well, is shocking, really.
So I think Ryan's saying we have 27 entries now for that competition.
We've already plugged it, right? You obviously wasn't on then.
But yeah, as we mentioned, basically posting on Twitter that you're a subscriber and you're in a chance to win Ryan's Merseyside derby ticket, I believe in the Park End, right?
Yeah, Park End. So no obstructive views.
Yeah, the main stand's really good for that.
Yeah, get yourself over to YouTube, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you're already subscribed, get yourself over to X, formerly known as Twitter, and requote Ryan's link on there. Here he comes now.
Hello.
Dum 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 dum
Oh.
dum dum.
Nobody wants to go, right? Nobody wants to go and watch that.
And watch what?
The derby.
I know. No one wants a free ticket.
Nobody wants a freebie.
Nobody wants a free ticket. At this rate, one of the fucking team is going to win it because it's all fares and dues, isn't it? It's random out the hat.
Oh, yeah. I could win it, then I have to give away my ticket.
Yeah, Chris, if you win it, then you can give it to someone else.
Where are you anyway?
I'm in the car. What's the Liverpool score?
0-0. Man United winning 3-1. Ellis Sims scored for Coventry. Ellis Skims, yeah.
Ellis Sims scored at Wembley against United.
For Cov. Liverpool just won 1-0 up. Turns Alexander-Arnold.
You had to go and ruin it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Free kick.
Early days. Free kick, yeah.
Probably the only way they would have scored.
Postage stamp as well. Brilliant free kick.
Got bags of ability.
See, ideally we want Fulham to win. Iwobi needs to step up, doesn't he? And
ideally, of course, we need Fulham to win.
Yeah, we want Liverpool's title challenge to be ended today, so that we can give them a good hiding on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll give them a good hiding on Wednesday, but it would be nice to cause them some disruption.
What are you trying to say? We won't give them a good hiding. We're prolific.
What, a couple of pot shots are outside the box, that P roll into the corners.
Yeah, we're a menace from outside the box, Ryan. Didn't you watch the match?
Yeah. We had 2 goals from open play today. Don't knock it.
It's amazing what happens when you
non-penalty expected goals.
It's amazing what happens when you hit it hard and low, isn't it?
Amazing what happens when you actually hit it towards the goal.
Yeah,
and early.
We only had about 2 chances in the whole match.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We had to take away Calvert-Lewin's weak header, which was a bad cross, by the way. Nothing to do with his header. That was probably the only other shot on target.
Yeah, it wasn't great game, but we fully deserved to win. But we didn't
But
have to do a lot to beat Forest.
I'll tell you one thing that I noticed about Everton is like they never pass it in front of their own players. They always pass it either to them or behind them. So the players have got to like stall the run rather than bombing onto balls. You know what I mean? And you're like, for God's sake, it's not hard to just pass the ball like 2 yards, 3-4 yards in front of your player so he can run onto it.
Doucouré did that to McNeil many times, and it was just like, he's left-footed. Don't pass behind him to his right foot. Like, why?
Yeah,
I know.
Lack of intelligence at times, isn't there? Very evident.
Yeah.
But that was one of their better games overall. And to be honest, Forest never looked like scoring. We were the dominant side. I don't really felt like we were creating a lot of chances there. I think the problem is you put the onus on the fullbacks and the wingers to create. They're really poor. I mean, I can't remember having a pair of fullbacks and a pair of wingers as bad as Harrison and Young. On another day, Ashley Young sent off and gives 2 penalties away. He's so bad. But I think, you've got to give credit to Everton's 2 centre-backs. The midfield 3 overall and the strikers. And I thought Beto was brilliant when he came on in his cameo and he just needed that killer pass in.
Oh, we got 508 viewers. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks for all joining us. All happy blues today.
Yeah, and I can see there's 400 of you watching on Twitter. Now, do us a favour. I've got a competition where I'm giving away my Merseyside Derby ticket for Wednesday, and that ends at 7 p.m. tonight. What I want you to do, take 2 seconds. You can come straight back on the stream. Go on our profile at Follow Everton, which you can literally just click on straight from this, and retweet the competition. And as long as you're a subscriber to us on YouTube, you're in with a chance of winning, of seeing Everton at Goodison Park in a great seat.
Ryan's desperate to get rid of his Derby ticket. Desperate.
Do you want to see a few more entries?
3-2 Coventry. Man United, sorry.
Yeah.
It's on. The comeback's on.
Come on, Coventry.
Oof. Deflected shot.
So
and assist by Ellis Sims.
Do you not want to wrap this up? You've been on for ages, and Chris is family.
I think we should. I think we should swerve it now because I need to go and make me see. Hi.
Yeah, sounds good. And maybe Brian, if you wanted to do another chat or like discussion about your observations from the match, maybe do that right at the 7 o'clock countdown for the ticket.
Yeah. Do you want to? Are you doing an analysis, Chris? At some point, they go down very well.
So we were talking about subscriptions and everything else. This software, we have to get payment sorted for that. So that's where subscriptions are also really key. From
get your hand in your pocket, right?
Yeah, no, I'll pay for it. But guys, seriously, you're getting this content for free. It's costing you nothing. Subscribe, become a VIP. We've got two options: supporter and VIP. Takes 2 seconds. Click the join button on a browser, or on any video, any Follow Everton video on a browser. There's a link there. And it costs you either £1 or $2.99. It's a glorified donation, but it does go to good causes that are important. But yeah, I was just coming on to say hello. I think tactically, we still do the same things we do. We love to punt it forward to the centre halves and be disjointed for the second and third ball and leave ourselves vulnerable. And the quality of the crossing is very suspect from Everton. And the quality of chance that we create for the forwards is very suspect. But I think we just had enough to beat Forest today in 2 very clinical moments. They didn't create anything, and I think we should all be a little bit more positive. I think now, as long as Everton don't lose to Luton, that they'll be more than safe. And I'm going to say something really bold here. If we get another, let's say we get a draw against Brentford or a win against Brentford and lose to Liverpool, and we're sitting here on, say, 33 points or even 31 points. And let me word this better. If we don't lose to Luton, I'd withdraw the appeal.
Yeah, what's the point in risking it?
Yeah, but
don't risk it.
Yeah, but like I said though, they're not gonna get an increase in points, right? So
no, they might. They were quite lenient.
There's a very slim. Yeah, but there's a very slim possible. That's because they've been lenient with Forest.
No,
You
I
know,
think they were
they
very
can't.
lenient with us. They did take in the mitigating factors, and I think if we're safe, if we've got 3 points by the time we play Luton, or we don't lose to Luton, then I think we just withdraw it because Luton are not going to. Luton have got 4 games. We're 5 points ahead of them with a much better goal difference. So let's say we're 6 points ahead of them. They're not going to win all 4 games and us lose all 4.
against
Yeah,
Sheffield.
but
Yeah.
they were lenient with Forest because initially they wanted to give Forest an 8-point deduction, and they basically halved the points. So they couldn't not be lenient with us because we was cooperative as well, and
Yeah,
and
let
they
Chris
took
go.
into our mitigation into circumstances and all that. You know what I mean? So
Go on, Chris.
I'll catch you later.
see you later,
Thanks,
mate.
Chris.
Well, yeah, if we, like I said in the pre-match, right, is that if we get our 2 points reduced to 1, that's effectively 2 games that we've got over Luton. Be 6 points.
No, but a goal difference is about 10 or 12 on Luton anyway. So I think we're
Right.
effectively 6 points ahead of them. So that's what I'm saying to you. Are Luton going to win 2 matches to catch us and be ahead of us with the point extra? And Everton lose all 5 games? No, I think we'll be fine. And I'll probably withdraw the appeal based on what we do. I think we're based on what I saw today. If we play like that, I think we'll probably still lose to Liverpool, unfortunately, on Wednesday. We will get at least a draw against Brentford, possibly a win. We'll lose at Arsenal. We'll probably get a draw at Luton, although I can see them beating us. And we'll beat Sheffield at home. So I think we'll be all right. I mean, we're not that bad. We've amassed 38 points this season, technically, and we're probably good for 45 overall.
Yeah,
So,
like I said, like I can't see Sheffield United beating us at Goodison. I'll be honest,
but they'll all be
because
already be relegated. So
yeah, they've give up. Simple as that. Even Chris Wilder came around and said they'd give up. He felt the players would give up. So
yeah, they were
you know,
shy. I saw them against Burnley, the highlights. They were just like kamikaze defending, falling over each
who's
other.
what are they on at the minute? Sheffield, like 19 points or something.
Yeah, and I think Burnley are on 25 or 23. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, Luton are on 25, aren't they? Luton are on 25. So
We're on
effectively,
30, but with a better goal difference and them still to play. So it's
yeah.
all about
So
that Luton match. Don't lose that Luton match.
yeah, if Luton are on 25, like Sheffield United could be relegated this weekend if they lose and Luton win.
We could
If
be
that, if
safe
that,
by the time we play Luton again. Anyway, that game might be redundant. If we beat Brentford next weekend, I think it'll be all done for them anyway.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think once Sheffield United come to Goodison, they'll be already down. I think anyway.
Yeah, and they'll play without pressure and they'll probably beat us. I mean, to be honest, in an ideal world, I'd like to see Luton stay up because I think they give you a big finger up to the Premier League and having a small club that they can't probably stand being in there. And I'd rather see Nottingham Forest relegated. But unfortunately, we're competing with this tiny club with a small budget, and we are an embarrassment. But today, I think we just got to have a little bit of peace and quiet and say, okay, we did well.
No, personally, I have to disagree with you on the right. I want to see Luton go down just for the simple case of their CEO moaning about Everton getting more points. They
But
should
look
have
at the
had more
Forest one.
points.
Look at the Forest today, crying about the penalties.
Yeah, but if that's true that they had a Luton fan on the VAR,
It's
you know
irrelevant.
what I
They didn't give
mean?
it the penalties to try and keep us lower than.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't benefit either club if the penalties are not given. You know what I mean? But we could still be in the mix. We still are in the mix. So by not giving the penalty, if we give the penalties, then we'd have still been right in the mix. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's what I didn't get about that. Surely they'd want Everton to win. If they were Luton
No,
fans, no, they wouldn't, would they?
you'd
want
want it to be a draw. You'd want it to be a draw, wouldn't you? Like if you was a Luton fan, you'd want that game to be a draw today. But yeah, I want Luton to go down because their chief exec was moaning about Everton not getting enough points and Forest not getting enough points when they've clearly benefited from the point deductions of the because now if we hadn't had the points taken off, we'd be 11 points clear of them. So I think it'd be 13 points clear of them, wouldn't we, after today? Because we would have been 10 points clear because they're on 25. We would have been on
We'd be
35.
safe if we hadn't had any points deductions right now because we'd be on 38 points and they've got 25. They couldn't catch us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we hadn't had any points, we would have been 10 points clear of them before the game today. And obviously, because we won today, we would have been 13 points.
We've cheated. And we've got Andre Gomez on £120,000 a week in midfield, Decore on over 100 grand himself, and Garner Gay on 100 grand a week. The three of them are playing for us, and it gives us an advantage. And we've amassed them players through overspending.
Yeah, but they got up from the Championship by having 150% spend above their revenue and a £21 million loss. So they're hardly ones to sort of talk about, benefiting from it or not benefiting from anything, are they? Well, anyway, I think that's time for us to call it a day. We've been nearly hour and a half, but we've had some fantastic numbers today. Every Evertonian's happy.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Over 500 watching live. Your plan is like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Thank you very much. Turn the notification bell on. If you're on Twitter, come over to YouTube. It's youtube.com/Follow Everton or search for Follow Everton on your YouTube app or web browser and click subscribe. If you follow us on Twitter and subscribe, we've got a competition on there till 7 o'clock to win a derby ticket. All you need to do is be a subscriber and retweet, and the draw will be pulled at 7 o'clock, and there's a very high chance you'll win that derby ticket. And if you win it, you can sell it for or gift it to another blue.
Where's the draw being on? Right, is that on Twitter?
I'll use one of those random.
Fulham 1.
Yeah.
Liverpool 1. What's his name? Castagna.
Go on, Wes. See you soon.
Right on half time there, enough.
Brilliant. Thank you, mate.
Where is it? On Twitter, is it the draw?
Yes, I'll announce it. I'll announce it on Twitter, yeah.
Okie dokie. All right, mate, have a good weekend. What's left of it?
We won a match. See you soon.
Up the toffees.